Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of the podcast. With me, I have the guys as usual, Heidi and Tosin.
Hey guys,
What's good?
welcome back.
Okay, it's good to have everyone back. We have a few things on our itinerary today. I think Heidi should.
Okay, I think today we're mostly speaking about we'll talk about NBA. There's been a lot going on in the NBA.
For sure.
And then just talk a little bit about signings as well in general. This is more like the football soccer world. Yeah, we could first go with some of the players on our teams. I mean, for Arsenal, Rice, you have Rice, have it. Those
Well,
are your
okay,
newest signings.
for Arsenal, I'll say, Rice has been amazing. Depends on when this episode comes out. We just defeated Man City, and Rice did an amazing job. So Rice has been an amazing signing for us so far. Our player of the month, everything so nice. But Harvard, I feel he's been having a lot of issues adjusting. He's been, he was in a bad team before. Now he's in a good team.
What's the bad team?
It was in a bad Chelsea team.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the club is bad.
One champs.
No, the team of last season was bad.
Oh, so not the champs.
No, not the champs team. So he was in a bad Chelsea team, and he's in a championship team.
Okay.
And he has to adjust to the new manager, new requirements. And so far he's struggled in the first month, but I think now, after the goal, he's been getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have news for you. Havertz is not struggling because he's in a bad team. That's how Havertz.
Yeah.
That's Havertz.
Yeah.
So even when Chelsea was, I guess, to your standards, good or in the Champions League team, that is Havertz.
But before he was in Chelsea, he was the good player.
Yeah, in Bundesliga.
So what do you mean Bundesliga is not a good league?
Not compared to Prem.
Anyhow you want to say it.
No, but I would say though that honestly, Havertz is not going to for me. He's probably going to be the worst signing this season. Just with Arsenal, with any Premier League team,
I think Onana
Onana might have a
He's
shout
big
there.
guys.
No, yeah, of course. I think there'll be people that there'll be a tough competition for the worst player. But I would say that I don't expect anything from Havertz, and from what I've seen this season, I don't think he's the type of player that would succeed in the Premier League.
Let me tell you the thing with Havertz is I don't think he will be the worst signing. The thing with Havertz is he's decent at a lot of things, but he's not actually very good at anything.
Yeah.
So Havertz can put in a shift defensively, he can put in a shift aerial duels, he would do you might not notice him on the pitch like that, but he's not doing anything particularly wrong, but he's not doing anything great. He just exists, and that's the problem. That's always been a problem. Then you have those games where you see a flash of you're yo, this guy can be so freaking good, and then you can see that 2-3 games in a row, next 10 games goes, he's there. He's not doing anything wrong. You can't point out him and say, oh, we lost this game because of this guy. But again, he
doesn't have anything to him. I know there's certain players like that, and sometimes a team might just have them in place to do those little things. It's this guy does enough to give us a chance to win. We don't expect more. There are a lot of players like that, honestly. I can't think of any right now, but Havertz fits the system. But I feel the position he plays in is too key for him not to either score or assist. Do you know what I mean? He plays in a position where you need a guy that is good enough to produce in certain moments, and he never does that.
But I think that's the other thing too with Havertz is they play him Havertz probably does not actually have a number one position. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, he doesn't
have he can play as an 8, he can play as a false 9.
Yeah, so just with Prem in general, and you cannot really play positionless football unless you're an Eden Hazard type player.
So it depends on the kind of team you're in. You need auxiliary players.
Here's a good question actually. If Arsenal had a prolific number 9, would Havertz succeed? Because you're not expecting him to. Because those guys would. Because right now Arsenal's biggest challenge right now is scoring goals. Pretty much. You guys are good in every other area except scoring. And Arteta even admitted to that. So I'm thinking if Havertz plays in a system where Gabriel Jesus is banging in 20 plus goals, I don't think we see.
Not a number. If you watch today's game,
he's not a number 9. He played on the wing. But I'm saying if you had an outright striker like an Osimhen or something
like Rasmus.
Yeah, Rasmus. Rasmus is a baller.
That
That guy is nasty.
It's out and out.
Nasty.
Yeah, but
see, the thing why I don't fully agree is because I'm talking about like players playing at a certain level. I'm not saying he can't play positionless football in Prem, but I'm saying when you're talking about the best players in Prem, there's nothing like the best players in Prem are not positionless players.
Agreed.
The only person I know that has really done that in recent times I can recall is someone like Hazard, where Hazard is all over the pitch. Like he plays central, he plays left, plays right, wherever the ball is, and he doesn't really defend. I don't know anyone else, but you look at guys like Salah is a forward. Like Salah is not coming to pick up the ball from defense to dribble in the middle of the pitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you think of, I mean, when Rashford was balling, like Rashford, like guys like Kane used to drop a lot, but again, like wasn't really playing positionless footsie. I feel that's where, like, that's Havertz to a certain extent, or what. That's why I even thought he was going to come and be at Chelsea. But again, he's not good enough to actually play that, because players that play positionless football, they are very good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like ball carrying, dribbling, your finishing, everything.
It's one of those
space.
things. It's one of, like, you have to, like, because at this point we're saying you're positionless, but we have to be able to expect something from you. With Havertz right now, it's like, what is he meant to give? Like 5 goals? I don't know what to expect from the guy. So honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't think that guy is going to get better at Arsenal. Maybe, if we bring him as a sub, because I feel like Smith Rowe is a better player than Havertz, right? I genuinely feel like that. With time, as time goes, hopefully we see more of Smith Rowe, and then but
no, ideally in my first 11, Havertz is not there.
Yeah, right. Even like you guys want Vieira to play a lot more than.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not there to even have.
Who would be playing for Havertz for you in like a perfect?
Like if we have 3 in front, 3 in the middle.
Yeah,
3 in the middle will be Rice in the center or DM. Then up front will beat Odegaard, and this side I'll put Trossard.
So question.
So Martinelli plays on the wing and Trossard plays behind him.
Would you ever want 4-2-3-1 with Partey and
Rice?
And then who's on the
Odegaard?
Yeah, that's why I play on FIFA.
Because I feel like that this guy Partey is just come back from injury, right? So
would that make them more defensive, or it would just give the other guys more?
I think it'll give them more freedom. And Rice and Partey are very good at driving the ball, so they can alternate.
They can actually do like 1-1. So one DM, one CM, then one attacking.
I really enjoy watching Declan Rice play. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he makes the game very simple and easy for like the other team, like his other teammates.
Just knows how to get the ball back. I don't know how he does
it. And he always makes. I like players that win possession and then keep it. Like, he's not the kind of guy that will win the ball and then just like clear it out, or just like
gets the right pass,
or just throw the ball. He's always finding the right pass. Like. And he's also not overly defensive minded. I hate, like, there was a player that played for Liverpool, I think Henderson at some point. Like, every time he won the ball back, he was going back to the keeper. And it's like, bro, keep the ball
and move forward.
Declan Rice is so technical that, like, you can see that he can create chances, he can do certain things.
Yeah.
And on that note, a player like that I really like for Liverpool is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, to me, I was having this argument with a couple of friends like 2-3 days ago. And for me, this is me being biased, I feel like Szoboszlai is the best midfielder in the Premier League right now.
He's better than Fernandes. He's a shadow of Fernandes. He reminds
Fernandes? Bruno.
Yeah. He reminds you of that good Bruno that came.
No, he's a lot more agile. Like, he wins the ball back a lot more. I feel
he's more defensive than Bruno.
Definitely. Yeah, he's more defensive.
And then why I say that is because we've actually had
a very best midfielder in general. Like, the word midfielder is not just DM or
fair.
So that's why I'm saying
no, but you compared him to Bruno.
Yeah, because
they don't play the same position.
I thought we were comparing. I thought we were comparing in terms of like he and Bruno have similar style of play.
No. I just mean because the best midfielder in Premier League right now is Bruno Fernandes.
I don't
Hell
think
no.
So who is the best midfielder in Premier League?
Over a span of time, Bruno, when he came to the Premier League, when he had come to the Premier League, he was insane. Like, for that span, I don't think I've seen a better player in the Premier League. Even Casemiro had a good one when he joined initially, but. I swear.
Yeah, at this point, it's Rodri.
At this point,
there's no argument. Like, I feel this is a new season, so we're looking at it from a point of like new season where it's going into the. But it's like, as of now, if there was a title of the best midfielder in Premier League right now, in terms of
so far,
is Rodri, and
it's only fair. Has to be honest,
right?
Because the position he plays and the impact he has on the game, like scoring wise, is crazy. I don't think there's any other player in midfield that does that.
So are you saying Subo is better than Rodri?
Like, I guess it's a thing of this season, like going into this season. Maybe
right now, and I'll tell you why. I was explaining this, right? So Szoboszlai has had a tough run of games because Liverpool, we've had, I think, 4 red cards this season. And he's played in every single one, and he's still been there. Like, he's been like the power horse. Like, he's been doing so much for us just in that midfield position. And I feel like once we get our groove and we're able to have like 10 players on the field, as in outfield players, we can then see like Szoboszlai drive the ball and then have 2 or 1 or 2 City midfielders there. Like, for now, we're still playing McAllister as a 6. We don't need that guy there. Like, he's not that great defensively. You know what I mean? So I think Szoboszlai, once we give him his wings, like, for sure. Like, but right now, I'll say it's Rodri. So correct me there. Yeah.
One more. I would want us to like just quickly go around and just like, I guess I'll say best signings and worst signings that you think so far. I think one person that I've actually been impressed with, but again, I'm not surprised, is Caicedo. He's like an enforcer. Every game we've played, outside of his first 2 games, which I just felt like they were just nerves, like where it's like, okay, he just needs to settle. Bro, that guy, you also can't rush him. Like, he gets the ball back, and almost very similar to what you were saying about Rice. He gets the ball back, he looks forward, and that's it. Also, I didn't know he was that good of a passer. Like, he's not. What I expected more from him was, we'll get the ball, almost like pass to Fernandes to spot the pass, but he spots those passes and he hits it. It's like, like, he's good. And I think we're also discussing how I said, like, I feel like with DMs, typically I feel like DMs can't really, like, a good game is a good game. You can't flop, especially when one of the biggest strengths is tackling. It's like, you don't get nervous and lose your tackling ability at that young of an age. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like now he's really getting comfortable in his role, and like, there's just a certain level of confidence.
And I never really understand when players like that are worth a price tag of like 100 million until you start to see like
there's nothing that can
but not even 100 million, but just like, why are they priced so like heavily? Like, the same amount you would pay for like a number 10, the same amount you pay for a DM. Like, Declan Rice going for 100 and something too. For me, I'm like, what are these guys bringing to the game? But I guess that's what like scouts look at. Like, when you look at their numbers over a span of time, it makes sense. Like, what attributes they have.
Matters too. And
of course,
I think like
well.
there's also like a hybrid factor to it, right? And I think that's why maybe someone like Caicedo, Rice, like a lot of the, I guess maybe call it DMs that have, of recent, is they're not just DMs. Like I feel like
they
the
offer
traditional
else to the game.
the traditional DMs just win the ball back. That's all they could do. But these guys can win the ball back. These guys can drive. These guys can pass. If you put them in certain dangerous areas, they can also do something. But again, their primary responsibility is like winning the ball back and setting off attack. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have more DMs. I can't remember any ones right now, but there's some DMs that play for Chelsea in recent times. It's like, if there's a chance of a break after that guy wins the ball, just know that break is not happening.
I've been seeing this like thread of Mikel. Have you guys seen it? Where they're like, Mikel is like a full-time whistle or something. Like, once you bring on
Mikel, he's locked up. And bro, as you said, Mikel, that's a perfect example. Also, by the way, Mikel was a fucking good passer.
For sure. Mikel played number 10.
But to your point, like, he will get the ball, he's locked up shop. Like, he's looking at the safest way to play that pass. He's not going forward. He's not driving the ball.
And I think that's what we need to like contextualize to. Is like, it depends on the team you're playing in. Like, there are certain players that when you see them playing as a number 10, you're like, there's no way this guy is this
I mean, he used to play for
Nigeria as a number 10. But like, these guys, like, they play within a system. So it's like, this is what we need you for. It might not be your greatest strength, but we know you're really good at this thing. Let's like hone in on that and see how it works within our team. For another team, like Enzo, the time Enzo was playing number 6, but Enzo as a number 8 or 10 is insane. Like, a guy that can drive the ball and shoot.
I don't think he's a number 10 shot personally.
I think he can play as a number 10.
I think he can play, but I think you're wasting Enzo as a 10. Like, I feel, and like, if you're playing as 8, I feel like that's
but I feel.
Wait, why did he play for Argentina during the World Cup?
Like an 8, like more of like an 8. But like,
I think McAllister was ahead of him
a little bit. Yeah. But I feel like Enzo as a number, like a player with such good, like, not finishing, but he has a really good shot.
Yeah, but I think, but also, again, maybe just because with Chelsea, he has not caught up to speed with, because we played him as a 10, but he does everything well, but
finishing
and finishing. So it's just like,
imagine a player like you know why I thought about Enzo as a 10, because I feel like Coutinho as a 10 was like like an opener for him. Like once Coutinho started playing it, because they have a very similar like shooting technique. So like I've seen like Coutinho pick up the ball and do certain things, and I've seen Enzo do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Coutinho, I would say like relied on him a lot to like create those chances and score goals. I feel like if Enzo was put in those positions too, I can see the same thing happening.
Yeah, I feel with time. I mean, he's still young, so he can still develop, but I feel like he's still lacking in certain areas to be like I feel to be as good of an 8 as he would be an 8-10.
Yeah.
But
I feel like we spent enough time in the midfield. So let's just go a bit back to signings, but more on the defensive side, like Onana. That's why I started laughing. What do you guys think about Onana?
The first thing we said about, I don't know if you remember when we were discussing Onana, saying my problem with Onana and players like Onana is they concede silly goals. Like if we're talking about goalies, there's just a point where it's like you're conceding a goal where it's like you should save that, and it's like what are you doing, right? Not because those goals you can tell is like lapsing concentration because again he would save that another day.
Yeah, I personally just think that Man U is too big of a club for Onana. It's like he has not settled down.
But I think Man U is a problem though because bro, almost every bright player, I don't consider Onana exactly that, but it's like bright young talents, whatever. Like 6 out of 10 of them that go to United.
Yeah, they get overwhelmed by the history.
Well, it's not just the history.
That's what
I think the club is not run properly, and I think it affects.
There's no stability in Man U at the moment. Like it's just so many things going on, so many moving pieces. And my issue is they've signed a lot of coaches, but not only that, they've signed a lot of players. That's what people don't realize. They've tried a lot of different players and they've spent a lot of money, but there's something deeper in there that's not working.
Everybody's coming with the mentality of I'm going to be the person that will change this club. I'm going to be the person I'm going to be the hero.
Yeah.
And you can't be the hero. It's not a one-man thing.
I think right now, for me, I know it's a big struggle not only for players like Onana, but I think just the back line in general. Like I don't want to like dive into everything that's going on at back there, but then I've seen some of the goals they've conceded. I've seen some of what like the signings that they've brought in. What's the guy that they call the enforcer again?
Butcher.
The Butcher.
Martinez,
bro. I've seen some goals that he's conceded or like he's allowed going, and I'm like, yeah, you can blame Onana for some of these things, but it's like no one is there to like really.
I personally don't blame Onana. I just think
it's hard. Like it's just coming. Like because like at this point, it's like. He's not, you know what Onana is not doing? Onana is not keeping them in the game enough. But those chances that are being scored against him, some of them like...
Yeah, I always say like, even with Onana, again, I don't think he's at fault for any or most of these things. But I always say, for me, it's like you can do better. Like, it's like, again, you look at the goal, it's like, I think there's only one goal I would say was his fault, which was, I didn't even score actually.
Yeah.
Was the one, the pen
by
from where he sold Casemiro. It's like, that's a straight out mistake. It didn't end up being a goal, but Casemiro got a red card for that. And
no, there's one that was his fault. His first game, there was a video of the field that they lobbed him.
That wasn't a Premier League game. That wasn't like
Champs.
That wasn't.
But yeah, so just like I feel
that was a Premier League game.
That wasn't that was a preseason game.
No, I think it has happened. I think
in Old Trafford, there was a video of the field that the first game of the season.
Yeah, it was Champs.
He barely even played
it Premier League.
I think it was preseason, bro.
No, it wasn't preseason.
Like
No, they did that in preseason. I know what you're talking about, but also like
when he got chipped, that was in preseason, bro.
No. But they also like it has happened twice.
Where he got chipped?
Yeah. But what I'm even saying is, I feel he makes so many questionable decisions, right? Also, there are a lot of saves. There are a lot of saves he should make where, statistically speaking, you can't say that's your fault because. You're not like every goal that enters is not your fault. Like you're meant to save it, sure, but like you now saving it is not your fault, bro. You should save that. There are also times there are like 2 chances now where before the player even kicks the ball, he's already on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like why you on the floor? Do you get what I'm saying? It's like again, that goal is not his fault, but it's like, bro, like save the ball, right?
How about Raya?
Raya.
No, that guy has been so good. That guy has been so good.
He almost sold the game.
Really? And maybe like
holding the ball too much.
For me, I judge keepers on saves. Like all the stuff with the feet, like it's a new part of the game that they're all learning. So I don't really judge keepers based off.
I think that's fair, but
because
that's why they
No, not really. Like it's to make like at the end of the day, your job as a keeper is to make saves. Like playing with your feet and all that stuff. Like yeah, some keepers are extremely good at it, some are not. But like Raya as a keeper and saving the game right now, I've seen so many good saves from him. Like I enjoy watching the guy play, and I know why he's benching Ramsdale. Like it makes sense to me. You know, Ramsdale considered a lot of like funny goals to
concentration.
Yeah, but Raya just seems on it at every single point, and I like seeing players like that, to be honest. So I think Kaide, you picked your signing of the season.
Who's signing?
I think no.
Caicedo.
I mean, no. I mean
that's not your guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess round up. Like I think my signing of the season, being fair, is it has to be Bellingham to me.
Yeah.
No, let's say in the Premier League.
In Premier League right now, I might actually go Madison.
I'm with you on that for sure. I'm definitely with you on that. Like, I think Madison, I'm happy to see that he's actually flourishing in a team like Tottenham. Yeah. Like, I don't care about Tottenham as a team personally, but I think just what Madison has done so far and just the impact he's had on the team entirely is just amazing to see, man. Because Madison's one of those guys where like you just knew he needed like not like a bigger team or a bigger boy. He needed like better players around him to really show like what he could do, and I think he's definitely showing that. Like he was so scary against Liverpool, man. Every time he touched the ball, I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Don't know what this guy's gonna do.
Sign him, but
Chelsea.
Our owners were forming. We're not signing 25 and up. So every player we signed, I think Nkunku is the only exception. I think Nkunku is what 25,
yeah.
Right. And Madison is 26 or 27, so they don't sign anyone. But
because you're giving them 10-year contracts.
Yeah, so it's on, and they will want to give someone a contract that goes into like I guess almost mid-30s. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andrew, what about you?
I'll say Declan Rice.
That's fair. I mean, he's not as flashy in terms of like he's a DM, so you're not doing as much. But yeah, I think that's fair this time. I think overall, I'll pick Bellingham. Bellingham has been
Bellingham has like you know what I was telling someone, I was like Bellingham is a £100 million signing. If I'm paying £100 million, you're not going to adjust. I don't care if you adjust. Like I'm not like we're not going to
give me
come into the team and make an impact immediately. Like don't try to explain how like you're just into like the city, you're just into the league. Yeah. No, like I've paid this amount of money, just come in and make an impact.
The good thing, one thing Bellingham is enjoying at Madrid is I feel like they have so many midfielders that are almost like I don't say defensive focus, but like
they can sit.
They can sit. So Bellingham actually has the freedom to. He also puts in a defensive shift. You get what I'm saying? But just has that freedom to like also go all the way up because he doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind him.
Definitely, I think the sign and it's clear because he's not only like putting numbers on the chart. Obviously, that's what we're all seeing, right? But a lot of those goals have actually been like tap-ins or whatever you call it. But
just right.
Numbers are there, but position and all that. But then also like you said, he puts in a defensive shift. Like he's a good player. Like when I used to watch him for England and for Dortmund, I'm like, this guy is a very good player. But now he's taking it to a different level. At a different stage. It seems like he was very prepared for this move. So
and I had my question marks with Bellingham where I'm like, I know he's a good player, but I was still like, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think even though it's still early, I think all those doubts are there. But yeah, I think we can move.
Nothing. The thing about Hurricane is that
there's no surprise.
There,
like I honestly, there's not much to say.
You know what I mean?
Like I don't think anyone expected a difference. Like he should go and win the trophy. I think that's what everyone's waiting to see if he wins trophies because that's why he went there. But
what if he doesn't win this season?
He's going to win Bundesliga and then Champions League. We just never know. But the thing about Hurricane, I know.
Yeah, season has not.
But
Spurs are top.
Bro, I think they've won that. I think they've won that. I think like 8 seasons in a row or 7. Like I need to fact check.
More than 8.
It's more.
Don't keep bottling it. They don't get close. But last season too. They could have won.
Last time they didn't win was 2012, 2013 season.
Yeah. So like he's probably going to win that. But I would say that Hurricane is a striker in this generation that you can put in any team.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's bagging you 20 goals. Like,
so he's the best striker in the world.
For me personally, at this point, I think he has to be. I just think he like when you watch a striker and he's finishing on his position, he plays him like he tries to play as a 10 sometimes, but you can see like he has very good passing range, like extremely good. Like him and Son had, I think, the most goals or connections together, wherever that was. But Hurricane as an outright 9, if you're like, just play as a 9, I think he's the best finisher. Like I've seen.
I think I'll give Haaland, but at the same time,
as an overall player,
over like best striker, I'll give Haaland. But if I was to pick a striker, my team, I'll pick.
What do you think Harry Kane will do in Man City? How many goals do you think Harry Kane will score in Man City?
I actually don't think he'll score as many as Haaland. Harry Kane doesn't like Haaland lives and sits in the box. Harry Kane doesn't play like that.
But
he will score goals. See, if Harry Kane decides to be a out and out 9 like a Pocher kind of 9, don't get me wrong, I think he would score.
You don't think he'll score as much as Haaland?
Yes, because he would not play like Haaland.
Yeah, but
like you would find Harry Kane in midfield. You would find Harry Kane laying up passes, assisting. Like is what you're saying. Like he's a complete player, so he drops deep a lot. Haaland does not care to do all those things.
But that affects him. Again, I don't know when this is going to be out, but that affects Haaland in games like this, for example.
Oh yeah, because he can't offer much.
He had 0. I don't think he had any shot.
Yeah, Thierry Henry was speaking about it too one time where it's just like, bro, like he was pointing out that Haaland needs to improve his game because it's like you need to find. He was saying how like there was a period where KDB was out injured, and he's like this guy when someone is not feeding him passes, he can't do anything in the game. He's essentially useless. Now, someone like Harry Kane, that's never going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But again, Harry Kane is not going to play like Haaland. Harry Kane has never been a poacher in terms of like, bro, I'm just waiting for the ball so I can put it in the net, right? He would always drop deep. So for that reason, Harry Kane will give you maybe 25 goals and 10 assists in Man City, as opposed to Haaland giving you 36 goals and 2 assists. Like, and again, I think Kane is the better player. Like, it's not even a nightmare. I'll pick Kane over Haaland for my team 10 out of 10 times.
Sure.
But just like, again, if I'm saying the best striker, I'll probably still give that to Haaland.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, in terms of trades, I think we pretty much covered most of our picks or whatever you want to call it in the Premier League or just in general.
If you want to rank it, like who do you think would be the top three signing for Premier League at the end of the season?
I'm gonna just go off the top right now. I'd say Szoboszlai. I think Maddison continues with this form. I don't think anyone's stopping him. And I think Rasmus might be prolific at the end of the season. We might see him get like double digits, and that, I think that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd have picked Rasmus as well, but just because I feel United, like obviously the team you're in definitely affects. If they don't do well, that will affect. So I'm going Maddison, Casado, and I'm not sure. I'll go Szoboszlai. I think that'll be my 3.
I'll go with Maddison, Rasmus, and probably.
What team does he play for?
I forgot. I mentioned his name before. I forgot his name.
What team?
I'll just say Rice. But I feel like Rice will get injured. I don't know why, but I feel he'll get injured midway.
He's gonna, because Arteta puts a lot of minutes on those guys, so I won't be surprised if he gets injured.
That's why I don't think Rice will be.
Yeah.
So far, he's been good.
I know.
Well,
yeah.
Anyways, I think that's enough. Let's move to the NBA.
The trades.
Dame finally left.
When I saw the news, I swear it was fake.
No, I thought
it was a fake tweet by Walter.
When I saw.
I wish she was coming to
what's it? OG Anunoby.
Yeah,
Francis, I was like, welcome to Toronto. I don't think he would have stayed in Toronto if he got traded.
Nah, he would have. I think he would have.
Why would he?
Because if someone like Dame, like you're the focus of the trade, so if you're going to end up in Toronto, like the plan would not be to move you. Like if the plan was to move you, then to be a 3-team trade, like.
Yeah, but Dame would not stay in Toronto if he was traded. Like I don't know if he's going to pull like a James Harden, but I don't think.
I feel at best he would do something like Kawhi. Not saying he win a championship, but I'm saying like he would stay a year and
2 years.
Because I feel certain kinds of, because unless they trade him and then he goes to request for a trade, and I don't see him doing that.
Well, yes and no, but I think in a situation where like Dame gets traded to Toronto, the piece that gets moved for him would be enough to be like, bro. I mean, like it's a similar situation.
Yeah, probably a worse situation. Also, I heard the reason that trade broke down was they wanted OG or some shit.
Yeah, and they didn't want trade. I mean, it makes sense though. Like, what else does Toronto have to offer?
But OG though, like OG is where you say, nah, I don't want them. Like,
that's so sad.
like OG. Like,
I'm saying, what else do they have to offer?
Nothing. They actually don't.
Because they would have been either OG or
they can't trade Siakam. They won't trade Siakam, and they have this guy too. Scotty Barnes.
Let's be serious here.
No, I'm saying like they won't trade Scotty Barnes. They won't trade him.
They didn't want to trade him.
Yeah, they
can't. That's so it's like they would want to keep OG, Scotty, and
they want to keep them
and Siakam.
And then
so it's like that's what I'm saying. So it's like
they're not
realistically,
ready. They're not ready.
They can't
sacrifice
get him.
something.
But yeah, sure. I think for Bucks, that's definitely a good trade. I think getting him in place of someone like Drew going to Celtics though, I think that's crazy. That's crazy.
People are not looking at that. People are not. That might be the final piece, because what was happening is you had a player like Smart that was extremely defensive minded, but offensively he had on and off nights.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you're looking at a player like Drew that can put the same amount of pressure on your defense and then give you like 15, 20 points every single night. Like he's regarded as like one of the best two-way players in the league, right? And I think it allows for Tatum and Brown to like kind of like share that workload of scoring. Like, I hate the fact that they lost their lob threat, what's his name? Robert Williams.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still have Porzingis there, and you have.
I think one of the biggest problems is when it comes down to dying moment of the game, you just need a floor general.
Yeah.
I think that's what Celtics have lacked for, like, because they're very talented. Talent gets you to a certain point, and then it's like, okay, you need talent and more and experience or whatever. I feel they still don't have it. Like, it's not Tatum and Brown that will do that for you, and I feel Drew is not as bad, but
it's a good addition.
No, it's a good addition, but it's like at the end of the day, Drew too can be very
all over the place. Yeah,
you
know what? I didn't know. I didn't know how much of a turnover machine Drew was.
His boy is bad.
Apparently, he's like top 10, top 15 in the league. So him, JB, and Jason Tatum,
it's crazy. And they lost Brogdon, which I felt like brought that calm. Where it's like, okay, you need someone to just be more creative. Like I'm like, that's not Drew. He can be, but now if that is now Drew's sole responsibility, I don't think he delivers. Also, Drew goes on some 4 of 16 kind of shooting where just like he just 100%. Decides one day that I'm Steph Curry and just want to start jacking up plays.
Yeah.
Bro, when I watch those games, I'm like, bro, like what are you doing?
But I think
that might be
in that situation, he was. There were times where Drew was playing and he was like the second scoring option. In this team,
he's not.
Like he's not. I don't even think it's going to be between him and Porzingis that are going to like battle it out for that third, scoring option. Yeah. But I think just as a team now, I love the dynamic of the team. Like
Celtics is winning this ring. This is their time now.
I think they have everything. I think they're better. I don't think they have everything. I think they're definitely better. They are in a better position to win. They can definitely win. But I just don't know if they will or not. Right?
Hopefully they do, man. It'll be nice to see them finally get over the hump. And I think people speak a lot about them like switching teams or. Bro, these guys have been to the NBA Finals. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals three out of like 5 times. Same thing with Miami. Yeah. Like, why break up a team like that? I think Miami definitely gets swept out to like the first round this year.
Salty,
like Jimmy
Butler
has to be because salty, not only do you lose Dame, you lose Dame to Bucks.
Yeah. It was salty,
right? Man. And then you don't get Drew as well.
It was salty.
That trade I think works out. I think in terms of favorites right now. This is just me, and I don't know why a lot of people are not looking at it this way. I think the Suns are the best team in the league.
Who's not looking at it?
I've been seeing a lot of like Celtics. I mean, maybe because of the recent trades, but Celtics. I think the Porzingis trade really made people feel like maybe that's what they were missing. Because even without Drew, people were saying Celtics are probably like the favorites.
I think the reason people would have Celtics as favorites is like I feel there's just that thing where Celtics have been there. The main pieces are still there, like things like that, right? But it's like if I'm being for real, this is like Suns. I think Suns are. I also don't think Suns are going to win, by the way.
Bro, but if Suns don't win, then they have I'm saying Suns because I feel like if Suns don't win, then it's like an embarrassment.
No, it happens every year like that.
And to see
yes and no, because I'll say like last year. Chris Paul had an injury. I won't lie to you. I always use eye test. Like I don't look at stats. Like I'm not a guy that would like I'll go and watch the highlights after and I'll come and start arguing with you like I watched it. No, like Suns lost because they didn't have a huge amount because they didn't have Chris Paul.
The last time a super team stacked team actually won a championship. And I understand like injuries have probably played a factor here and there to stop that from happening. Is Golden State. Like when it was KD, Curry, it's like every other super team, whatever that we've said beginning of the season. None of them have.
But the only reason why those guys didn't go as far as they would have it's always because of injuries.
Not necessarily. When they were in the finals, it wasn't because of injuries.
Who? What super team?
No, but these guys, eventually when they were healthy, they traded them because I don't know.
James Harden.
Like Harden them.
Yeah.
There's that team I'm trying to remember.
The super team?
Yeah.
There's no super team
that people tagged. I'm not saying they were super. Like people just tagged them super team. Just like, these are the guys that are going to win.
Yeah, there's Brooklyn Nets.
Kyrie, KD, and Harden and
every time a super team hasn't won, they didn't play through the finals or the playoffs, as a team. There was some sort of injury, there was something going on. Like, there's no team that's put together that level of talent. But there's something you always say, Tosin, which is like, if they're able to get to the finals, they would win, right? But for some reason, it's still been the best teams that have gotten there. Like Celtics, for instance, being a very good team. Like Bucks being a very good team. Like Nuggets being a very good team. And me saying a good team, I'm also talking like with being a good team, a lot of it has to do with like balance as well. Everyone knowing their role and things like that. But the problem with superstar teams is, bro, they're all superstars at the end of the day. And people underestimate how difficult it is for 4 people in the same room that, let's even say, it's obvious who the best is. Then the remaining 3 are like, no, I'm second best. Like, you can say, like, say someone like Booker, you have Bill. You know, for those guys, it's like they're going to be also competing within themselves. Where it's like, okay, like I should be getting this or getting that. And honestly, I just don't see that team winning. And KD, I don't see KD as the kind of leader that a team like that needs. But think about it, right? So for someone like Devin Booker, he's been to the finals, right? KD has been to the finals. Bradley Beal is on his way to get to the finals, hopefully. But as someone that I think you know used to I play basketball once in a while. The team with the best players 1 through 5 on the court or 1 through whatever, if a team like that plays against another team, chances are they would win because they just have a really good player in every single position. Like, if you look at it from like one, because that's the thing, at the end of the day, if you have 3 really good players, you can't double anyone.
But do you know what always negates that team?
What?
The teams that have certain caliber of superstars. Now, say for instance, let's see, no, not even just like see Warriors. Like, see Warriors, for instance, against Celtics. The matchup, like prior to the finals, like everyone was just like, bruh, unless Steph Curry goes crazy, like Warriors don't have a chance, essentially. Because like you're looking at the matchups, you're looking at it 1-to-1, it's like, bro, they can't hang. And he literally needed Curry to
go crazy
for them to win. Do you know what I'm saying? Now you have teams like that where you have Nuggets that have well-oiled team. Those are the kind of teams that can be sons to me. You have Lakers that have LeBron and AD and the proper pieces around them. Those are the teams. Because guys, see, at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to basketball. It's one ball and it's one possession at a time. Do you get what I'm saying? If Bill has the ball and misses a shot, it's still a player that has missed a shot. It doesn't matter that it was Bill. Do you get what I'm saying? If it goes on the other end and Austin Reeves makes a shot, it doesn't matter that it's Austin Reeves. It's just about the ball going in, right? So, again, everything gets to a point where in those moments, the superstars matter, but at the same time, at a certain point, like it doesn't really matter because there's one possession at the time. Okay, Bill is cold. What's going to happen? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
But my thing is that there's always like there's guys on a team that don't miss more than like 2-3 shots in a row, and you have a team of 3 or 4 guys that can do that consistently. It's hard to score because that's the same thing with Golden State. Like, and I keep telling you, like, you can't double a team that has 2 other really good scoring options. Like a team of Booker, KD, and Bill, like these guys can easily be like scoring champions on their own teams. They've come together, and if they're actually able to work within a system, and I'm telling you, the same thing with Brooklyn and KD and all those guys. If those guys all play together at some point, there's too much attention on one player for other players not to be able to like do something.
What to say within the game though, I feel like it doesn't necessarily play out like that because at the end of the day, yeah, with all these superstars, what always happens to is even with someone like Dame, you see Dame can start the game missing 5 of his first 6 shots, but end up having 50 points and shooting 60% efficiency because he has gotten a chance to go into the game.
True.
If you're playing with other superstars, once it's like Mobile is not having it, come on, KD Abeg, take over. If KD is yo, Boka Abeg, take over. So it's like they're superstars, they're used to having a feel of the ball and the game. Like they're not role players, right? It's not like, oh, when we throw you the ball, like be ready. Like that's not the energy for them. So it's like you're in a harder position to like get it going for one, which is typically an adjustment. And the second thing is I feel like your style of play with this thing matters, right? So say someone like say let me just use Corey and KD when they're playing together. Like I feel Corey, KD, Clay, Green, like they all fit. You get like there was no ball dominant player there. The most ball dominant player there was probably Draymond Green or KD, because KD is not a spot up shooter or anything. KD would typically feel the ball. Corey can play his game just being a spot up shooter. He could care less. He rather not even handle the ball. Then you have Klay Thompson and you have Green that typically finds them. But it's like now you look at Bill, look at KD, look at Booker. Those are all, they are not like Chris Paul or James Harden ball dominant kind. But none of those guys are going to end up being spot up shooters or anything like that.
Yeah.
The closest person to that is probably Booker. KD can do that, but ultimately that's not a role they're going to take up on.
Sure.
Right? So it's like now the ball sharing and everything. Again, I don't think it's impossible for it not to work, but again, I just feel it takes more than just, okay, these are 5 nasty scorers. But it's like, in what situation were they nasty scorers?
Yeah,
right.
You don't
have that.
I also don't know how it's going to work defensively.
No, I think that's their biggest problem is defensively. But again, I always say if you can outscore, if you can really, really get it going scoring, you should have defense. But it's like, at the end of the day, if I beat you 150 to 140, you know what I'm saying, I still win.
True.
Right? But yeah, I feel it's interesting. I want to see how it goes. But I really don't know who would.
What do you guys think about Chris Paul? I for one, I think I'm hearing more and more that Draymond comes off the bench. If Draymond comes off the bench, I know Golden State have this whole thing of, they're a small team. But at this point right now, they're an extremely small team. Like, playing against a team like the Timberwolves or like a Lakers would be frustrating.
I'll be surprised if I'm wrong, but there's no way like I don't think it's
so Chris Paul comes off the bench then?
Yeah, still probably comes off the bench. Or they decide to do something like that. But there's no way Draymond comes off the bench. If anyone is benching, there are couple lineups they can try, like Chris Paul, Clay, Corey, and then they're like Wiggins and Draymond, or they're like with Draymond and Looney somehow. But a lot of things I've hinted at Chris Paul coming off the bench, and then in certain games, like when it's close and everything, then
Draymond at the
balance
5.
Out. Also, and those things, when it comes to like size, I always say, especially Warriors, it took me a while to understand that Steve Kerr actually, because for a while I'm always like, bro, we need a big man. But there's a disadvantage for us in size.
With a big man?
No, like against bigger teams, right? But there's also an advantage. And I think what I've learned is Steve Kerr plays to that advantage. So it's like, okay, you guys have the advantage of size when you're defending or rebounding and things like that. Most likely, maybe not really defending, but let's just say rebounding and blocking at the rim. And for Steve Kerr, it's like, well, we have the advantage.
More mobile.
Exactly. And I've realized he's not trying to get bigger. For him, it's just more of like, that's our advantage. And when it comes to rebounding, we'll see what we can get from Green, Wiggins, and Looney, and we're fine with that. And we'll just resort to the fact that we're a small team and we want to beat you like that. Because I feel it goes both ways. But I think it's harder, obviously, because it's basketball. It's essentially a big man's league. So the bigger you are, the easier it is to a certain extent.
For example, like the Lakers, right? Playing against a team like Lakers or Timberwolves at this point, what I mean is going to be a huge challenge, because not only are you losing on like rebounds and like size or whatever, but then I think defensively now, if you add a player like Chris Paul, he's not a great defender. He has a lot of skills, but like I can decide to attack Chris Paul. Like now I have the option of attacking Curry and Chris Paul in a game. Before it was just like attack Curry once in a while and then you get a different person. But now I have the option of switching to either of those two guys. A team with a like a team like Celtics or Lakers or any of those big teams right now can actually now like kind of like create a game plan around, okay, these are the two guys we're going to attack and tire out. So I don't know how it would work out for you guys.
But here's the thing though, is I've also figured that Warriors are also fine with that. They're fine with if that's your game plan.
Jordan Poole wasn't trying, according to Iguodala. He was doing like he looked like he was trying, but he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that was one of your Achilles' heels in the series against the Lakers. It was like Jordan Poole would come on. Yeah.
I feel Lakers are probably our toughest team to play because Lakers I think that the one team in the NBA that has a little bit of everything. Nuggets were just too good in terms of like depth as well. You get what I'm saying? Like they were just too good. But it's like
Nuggets would have probably killed you because of the rebounding as well. And offense with Jokic
But that's how he has always been for Warriors. Like Warriors have never dominated.
You don't dominate those things.
Those things.
You had decent bigs though. You had, I mean, when you won, you had KD and you had what's that guy? Bogut.
Yeah, that's such a long time ago.
But that was when you were winning though.
No, even like Bogut was not part of. Bogut was part of the first and maybe
maybe
second.
Second one.
The 73.
It was not.
It was not Bogut. Was this guy?
Maybe McGee. I know McGee was there at some point.
McGee has two with Golden State as well.
Yeah, Bogut not there. So it's like for me, again, Warriors have never relied on this thing. They've relied even when we have those bigs, we always still play small. Like Drummond has played 5 cold nose. Like once the game is close, fourth quarter, Drummond is almost always at 5. You get what I'm saying? KD being a tall player really helped us in that.
And
moment.
He picked up more of a defensive mindset when he played the Golden State as well.
Like
he definitely tried more on like the glass and all that stuff.
But it's like I feel like when it comes to like being like big man basketball or needing a big man, Warriors have like I don't say they pride themselves in it, but it's just like we're playing small.
It's not a priority
like we're a shooting squad. That's how it is. Like we take the most threes in the league, we make the most threes in the league. Percentage, we're probably somewhere up there. So we don't go to the rim. Last season we're like dead last in I think drawing fouls because we don't go to the rim.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They've just said that's our basketball. And I think on the topic of picking on Curry and this thing, Chris Paul, with Curry, I feel like that's how it's been for a good amount of time. They actually spend more time finding ways to get him out of that than anything else. And they are fine with, in the process of getting to a pick and roll, someone has an open shot, they're fine with it. And then when we go on the other side,
you have to deal with it.
Exactly. Too. You have to deal with the fact that, now Curry is going to switch him on one of your big men that can't really follow him. And you get, so it's just now a thing of, we have your weakness. Man. Exactly. You have your weakness, we have our weakness. Let's just see who can use it more, right?
Yeah. But do you think, with everything we've discussed now, what would you think your team will end up at the end of the season, and what do you think your team will end up the season? And what do you think will be let's just do it the normal way.
Should we do
be like champion?
I think we should look at the best trades so far. So similar to what we did with soccer, I think we should look at the best trades and how they would affect each team, and then we can do like our top 3, teams that we think
will win, and then maybe Okay, I think for me, top trade has to be Dame for me, because I think, for one, he has a proper chance to win something, and I think now, Bucks would now have like that re-energized feeling of let's go for a championship game, because I think as they were before, even if they could win a championship, there wasn't that feeling. They've won one, there was content, all that, right? There's that. Who I think would win, honestly, I can't say, man. But I feel Nuggets would be up there again. I feel Celtics, Bucks, obviously. And I think dependent on LeBron, Lakers. Like, I feel if LeBron gives us one of those seasons, it's just like, oh my God, how is this guy still playing like this in his year 20 or 21? Then Lakers, because they have a very good, squad, right?
Yeah.
But if LeBron is not giving as LeBron because of age or whatever, then maybe not. Because I don't think AD is someone you can rely.
So top three for you right now. You said Bucks,
Top 3 in no particular order. Bucks, Celtics.
You ain't got Golden State?
Nuggets. No. The thing with Golden State is, I always say our season is always dependent on Curry. If Curry comes and is like, come on, I want, like let's go for a championship, that's the only chance we have. But that all still depends on this thing. Bro, we don't have, people don't to, again, and for the longest time I've always stood by this. We, like, when they're saying two-man superstar teams, three-man superstar teams, we've, outside of when KD was there, we've not had that. We've just had really good second options. Like Klay Thompson is not a KD, he's not a LeBron, he's not a Curry, he's not a Dame, he's not a Tatum. Like all those, call it caliber A superstars in the NBA. He's not any of those things, right? But again, just a good team and just Curry on some god level basketball. That's how we've won, except from when KD was there. But it's like every other comparison is like, we're talking about superstars, we're talking about Dame, Giannis, we're talking about like LeBron, AD, talking about Tatum and Brown. Like there's that 2-3 man actual superstar combination. But with Golden State, I feel like it's Curry, and the team just plays for him.
So how about now?
And that's how
I think
now that we have Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is not.
No, but I would no just add something to that. We're looking at Klay Thompson injury.
Pre-injury.
It was a 2-man. It wasn't a Curry going crazy. It was a Klay Thompson and Curry.
Splash Brothers.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
But he's not a caliber. Like, it was a very good second option.
Like, no, I don't say second option. Like second best. He was our second best player.
It's almost like a Tatum and Brown situation, though.
Yeah, it's very similar to Tatum and Brown. But I'm just saying, like, typically when
you're saying super team,
when teams, you know, when they're doing, when media does this, you know, or a big three and these things, like world's big two or big three outside of KD has always been Steph, Clay and Draymond. But it's like when you actually compare that man for man with every other big two or big three they've said, it's like there's actually no real matchup.
It's a team, man. Golden State players a team.
And that's what I'm saying. They play for Curry in a sense, right? It's like, and that's just how it is when people try and also throw shade at Green and it's like, oh, you owe it all to Curry and all that. I'm like, it's a team sport, but people say that from an angle of, okay, when you're saying LeBron and Kyrie, it's like that's a different magnitude from Steph and Klay Thompson
or Steph and Dre, however you want to put it, for sure.
But yes, I don't see Warriors doing that, but obviously I always support, you know.
I don't even see Warriors doing it, not even because of that, just because I know Chris Paul is never winning a ring, so there's just no way. Now that he's here, now I have to just accept.
So who do you have?
I'll go with Nuggets again, you know, and I feel like the Mavs. I feel like Luka has something. I feel like Mavs.
They're not dependent.
Top three. I know that they're not dependent, but you know,
nobody.
And then the Suns, obviously. So Suns will be my number one.
Suns, I didn't say Suns.
I don't think Dame would gel. I think that whole project would just be another Westbrook project. I think it would just flop.
If I have a hot take on that, if we're making a top 5, I'll add Lakers and Suns. But bro, I actually believe Dame is not going to win a championship with this thing. I put them there out of respect because again, this is a hot take. But I think every time I've seen Dame in a situation where it's like, which it hasn't been many times, maybe it was just like a season or so. It's just like Dame shows out when it's like there's nothing else for me to do. Like I'm the only one. Like I'm dropping 50 points, but there's like you guys don't expect me to win. So it's like I drop my 50 and it's like, bruh, there's not much else I can do, man. Like I can't score 150 points, right? And I feel the one time I think they've been closest, which is similar to James Harden and Chris Paul. I think when KD was injured or something like that, it's like, okay, now during this game, now take over the game, right? No one's even saying win this series. Like just, it's like it feels like there's some level of balance or some level of momentum on your side. It's like this is an opportunity. Every time I've seen them in that position, similar with Harden, so it's like they've just not taken advantage. I'm not saying they can't, but it's like from the little sample size, it's like you've not taken advantage. So it's like, okay, I'll be really sure when you're now in that spot. So it's like now the expectation for you is to win.
I won't lie.
Can you now be that?
I agree with you to some extent because I think, you know, Faye always laughs about me about this, but like I actually sent him a voice note. I'm not joking.
Why?
Bro, they were playing against Golden State. I think they had lost 2 games in which they were up by like 17 points, double digits in the third quarter. So like I was like, in my mind, I'm like, bro, don't you want this? Like, don't you want to win this thing? But what I didn't realize at that point when I go back to watch the game is because in the first and second quarter, you're doing so much that at the third and fourth quarter, you are like, I was watching those games and I was like, man, I'm like, okay, just go get the ball and pull up. I'm like, bro, these guys are not even like,
the only one.
You're in the you're in the Western Conference Finals, which means you played so many minutes of basketball in like a month. Not only that, you're hoping that your second option can at least be a threat, so like they can ease off on you, on like the defense they're playing against you. They're putting a bigger guy on you. Like I think at that point it was like, who was guarding him at that point?
I can't recall.
Either like a Draymond or like a bigger defender. So like there's a lot of like weight there. They're putting a lot of like pressure on you, and your second option is not there. A team like Bucks, if Giannis is not playing well, right, you can at least say, okay, we still have to guard Middleton. At that point, I don't think there were that many options for them to like leave him. Like they could literally focus on him and tire him out every single game.
The second thing with that is I feel, again, I know we had this argument a long time ago where I was like, I felt the teams are a certain level of balance. And from a place of, for Warriors, it was Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus, like, I feel like that series was Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Dame and McCollum. You know, obviously, I've forgotten who the third person was for them then, but I know then, so I was like, obviously, having Draymond Green is always a plus, right? And how it worked was their focus on Warriors towards Steph Curry. But one thing about Golden State is, Golden State, there's so much trust.
You play as a team. Yes, it's so different.
But it's like that whole, it's like, oh, I want to always have the ball in my hand. I always want to make the shots. And if I'm not making the shot, I want to decide how to pass. I'm supposed to like, bro, pass to the open man, right?
Yeah.
That also tires you out by yourself. And I feel people also underrate how, I don't know if fit is the word, but like how fit like Golden State, like especially Curry. Curry consistently runs top 3 in the league
which creates
season.
Options for other people on the team, open layups.
So it's like now when you see those guys, when you see like Warriors being a third quarter team is not a mistake. You can see they've been a third quarter team for at least 5 years. Why? That's how they play. It's like they come out that third quarter, you've done all the running around firstly, but they have the fitness level to put it all out for that third quarter, right? So it's just like now it's like, bro, you just can't keep up, is what typically happens. Right.
Basketball is a lot of like fitness and energy.
Yeah.
And
that's why you're allowed to sub and come back.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just one sub. Boys are going to be
it's a lot, man, bro. Yeah. But yeah, man. It's...
I think you did your top 3.
Yeah. Mavs, Nets. Sorry, Mavs, Suns, and
Nuggets.
Let's throw 2 more in because Kyle did through Lakers and Suns.
Add Bucks and maybe add Lakers. Yeah.
In no order, I'll definitely say Bucks, Suns. For some reason, I agree with you on the Mavericks part, but I don't think they have like the right pieces now. I think they'll make a trade closer to, like halfway through the season. But I agree with the Mavs because they have a very, very strong duo. Like I'll also throw. I think I just want to see the Lakers try. To be honest, like I want to see Lakers try. I don't think Nuggets go back. But another like my dark horse for this season is
dark horse always hits, man. Always.
Yes, hits. But I have a feeling the Pelicans will do something.
What?
I don't even have any ounce of faith in those guys.
I think the Pelicans will do something if they have their core team, which is McCollum, Ingram, because I think I like putting things out on paper, right? So McCollum, Ingram, Zion, they have Valanciunas, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing one guy. There's one guy.
Zion, McCollum, Ingram. I knew that the main guy.
Who plays there for?
I have a question actually.
McCollum, Ingram.
Before you ask,
McCollum, Ingram,
Zion. My own dark horse will be Golden State though.
Fair enough.
Right. And my reason is I think we're always much better with a stretch break. And the fact that we got Sarge, I think helps us. No, but he can shoot, and that's all. That's all Warriors need from him. They don't need him. They don't need him.
What is he? What is he like? A high 30s? High 30s?
Definitely high 30s. Like he's a decent 3-point shooter. Enough for you to be worried about him on the line. And then the other thing is, I think Kuminga doesn't have a very good season.
Who?
Kuminga.
Kuminga.
As a 6 man.
Yeah, or wherever. I just think he's going to take he's going to take a step forward this season. Hopefully. Right. He also had like a crazy off season apparently.
Hopefully.
So just like next season is just set up for him to like take that next step. And yeah, man. So what's your question?
The question was, I don't know if we spoke about it, but D-Rose and
the Memphis.
Those ones are not.
No, it's just a question. D-Rose and what's his name now?
Ja Morant.
Morant.
And Marcus Smart.
Just Rose and Morant.
I really don't think anything about it.
You don't think anything about it?
I don't
think like Memphis is gone. Like
I think, especially because after seeing what happened with the Lakers, I don't really see much of a jump from that. Like, there's still too many good players right now that Memphis cannot beat. Like, Memphis have 1 or 2 good players, but as a squad, they're not better than a lot of teams.
I feel like now like they've stepped down. It's like you go and fight with Timberwolves first. When you guys decide who's actually better.
No, Timberwolves might actually be down.
Similar
to the Pelicans. If Ant shows up, for sure. But then so with a team like Memphis, I don't know, like I never saw them being that great. Not only that, Ja Morant is missing 25 games. People are forgetting that.
Oh yeah.
Gobert is shooting threes now, so shot. But yeah, man.
Wrap it up.
I think that's it. Wow, anyone else?
I think like those are like pretty much our teams that we're looking forward to definitely watching. I can't wait for the NBA season to start, to be honest, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. So I feel I've got to the point where it's like I feel like I'm satisfied.
Yeah,
with the people the team I support, the player I support. It got to a point where if he retires today, I'm calm. So just like now, I can actually just
enjoy the season.
Just enjoy basketball.
Because the Magic Johnson talk.
But that's what basketball does. They always try and create a rivalry.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Anyways, thanks guys for watching up until this point.
Like, comment, share, press all the buttons,
subscribe. We appreciate it. But yeah, let us know your picks as well. Let us know if you want us to talk about more of basketball. I think we all watch basketball and really enjoy it too. So I'm hoping we get like a healthy season where we can actually see these guys ball out. But
I mean, we'll definitely be talking more basketball as the season. Once season comes back, I guess there'll be a healthy balance between us talking about basketball, footy. But yeah, thanks for listening. See you guys next episode.
Peace.